Look at the size of this arm on Roelly the Beast Winkler. Is it photoshopped? Well, maybe not. This guy is incredible. He boasts perhaps the best arm development, certainly the best tricep development in bodybuilding history. And what a truly gnarly physique. I mean, who wouldn't want to look like this? Definitely, Roelly Winklaar is one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time. And today we are going to delve into this man's career and check out the highlights, lowlights, and where it all went wrong from a guy that was poised to win the entire Olympia at one time to now where he struggles to win pro shows to even qualify for the Olympia. This is Roelly way back when in '05, definitely before he became a pro. He actually earned his pro card, to my knowledge, in 2009 at the Arnold Classic Amateur, where he defeated, look who it is, guys, Lionel Bayeki. Winklaar began his career in style with a big win at the 2010 New York Pro, easily qualifying for that year's Olympia event. He was definitely more slender than the beast that you probably remember, but I mean, this was a very aesthetic Roelly Winklaar. Good back development. And I have to say, compared to other versions, I like the midsection, I like the ab development for sure. But come Olympia time, looked like he flattened out, looked like he was smaller in everything. What could have happened? What could have happened? He actually ended up placing 14th here. Disappointingly, honestly, guys, it's the Olympia. It is a bigger vehicle. It's like driving a big Mack truck if you're used to driving a Mazda Miata. Those little shows, you can handle those. Hard to get into those, get into the good fit. But anyway. On to 2011, and this was a lackluster year for Roelly Winklaar, maybe his worst in the IFBB. He failed to qualify for the Olympia. I honestly think he was just too big, and he was a little too soft. But come 2012, he leaned way down. Look at that. He was thin almost. He was thin. He won the Nordic Pro. Good win, qualifying for the 2012 Olympia. And he was a shell of a man as far as size. Look at Roelly here. He's little compared to, the beast. He's big compared to a normal human. But he did get a little higher placing. He got 12th. And then he bulked up. I think this was the beginnings of the beast. 2013, he won the Chicago Pro. And this was a whole new look. He was lean down, dieted properly, plus he was huge. He was huge. And that year at the Olympia, he made some impact for sure. He placed 7th. From going 14th, 12th to 7th. Wow. And I have to admit, guys, I don't remember him from the 2010, 12 Olympia. I remember him competing here, and I was thinking, wow. I remember seeing him on Generation Iron, but 2013, definitely. Oh, and then I think he took a little break. Either that or he placed 6th at the Arnold Classic Europe. On to 2014, a confusing year for this man. He placed 1st here at the Chicago Pro, Wings of Strength, Chicago Pro. He looked very lean, if you ask me. Not a whole lot of pop, a lot of wow, but he looked good from behind. He looked very conditioned, and this is what's confusing. Come Olympia time, this was the gut fiasco, the bubble, double, triple, trouble, double, bubble gut. And he was not the only one. There was triple, trouble, double, bubble guts all over the place, spilling out. Look at the size of these two girths. Kai Green, Phil Heath. I mean, hey, Dennis Wolf even sported a big old belly. There was triple, trouble, double, bubble all over the place. And Roelly Winklaar, I guess he was just wanted to be in style. He wanted to look like everybody else, so he got a big old belly, a bucket of chicken too. Imagine the chicken they were swelling into their big old bellies back there. Pizza, big bunch of cows, with all due respect. In 2014, Roelly did, I believe, qualify for the 2015 Olympia by winning the Nordic Pro. I think that's how it went. Either that or he won by points, but not exactly sure. And come Olympia time, 2015, he didn't get all bulked up again. He leaned way down. This was a nice, slender version of Roelly the Beast Winklaar. Roelly the Aesthetic Winklaar, he took seventh. So tying his best placing at the Olympia. 2016 was a breakthrough year for Roelly Winklaar. He took 2 big wins. First at the UK Body Power Pro, and then he won the Shiru Classic. He competed a pile also. He competed, I believe, 9 times in total. And at the Olympia that year, this was my favorite Roelly Winklaar. I mean, he was huge. He was massive. He had washboard abs. His midsection was in check. He looked like he was just ready to boom! Super Saiyan. Boom! Matty Fergno. Boom! He was incredible. This was to date the biggest, the best Roelly Winklaar. And look at him from behind. He was not just, a showy fluff. This guy was here to win. He was conditioned. He was built. And in some ways he did win with a 6th place finish, which was, if you're paying attention, his best place to date. But yeah, Roelly Winklaar, not only huge, but very conditioned as well. 2016, maybe my favorite version. 2017, little bit lackluster. I mean, yeah, he won Prague Pro. A lot of people actually regard this version as his best. He was good, but I wouldn't wager to say that it was his best, considering we just seen, 2016 looked a lot better, the Olympia, than this version. But either way, he did compete at the Olympia, and again, slightly lackluster. It basically, same as last year, not as good. Same size, things of that nature, not quite as sharp, I don't think. That's my opinion, though, and I will stick to it. He did, however, maintain a 6th place finish. And then it all went uphill. This was the peak, 2018. He won Prague Pro. Good version, good solid win. Then he took his maybe biggest win in his bodybuilding career at the 2018 Arnold's Classics Australia. Come on, do it. Win the Australia. Do it. And he did, man. Oh, man. And more than that, he defeated, oh gosh darn it, William Bonac. Who else? Dexter the Blade Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. So right then and there, he was taken much more seriously heading into the Olympia that year. And look at him. He looked like he meant business. He was peeled to the bone. Look at that. And boom! He was, I guess, his best version ever. It looked his most leanest, and he was actually quite improved on posing, things of that nature. His color was perfect. He was on. And of course, it was his best placing at the Olympia. This was his peak of his career, and he took third. He only lost to both men, and they were both Mr. Olympia. He lost to Sean Roden, of course, who became Mr. Olympia, and Phil Heath was Mr. Olympia earlier on that day. So the only 2 guys he lost to, Olympia champion. But anyway, that was his biggest win, guys. This was his highlight of his career. And a cherry on top of this cake was the fact that the people voted him for the championship. The people's champion. So kudos to him. And then it all went sour. It went south. 2019, it was a depleted lineup at the Mr. Olympia. A lot of people were in his ear. A lot of people, including myself, had him picked as winning this event. And honestly, guys, I think that had to do a lot with his low placing. He placed 5th. He lost to Jackson. He lost to 5th. And like I said, guys, everybody told him, you're going to win the Olympia this year. I think it got to him. The nerves got to him. He did, however, follow that up with a win at the Yamamoto Pro, qualifying for the 2020 Mr. Olympia, and then another hit on Roelly Winklaar's career. And he got the common cold, and he was unable to compete at the Olympia, if you know what I'm saying. And all the while, guys, and a lot of people don't really take note of this, he was 41 years old. All the while, he had turned 40, and that makes all the difference in the world, unless you're Dexter Jackson. But I mean, come on. There's only one Dexter Jackson. And then 2021 was the downfall of his career. He took 5th at the Chicago Pro. He took 5th in a show that he easily should have won. He was predicted to win. And then he was able to qualify for the Olympia by placing 2nd at the Europa Pro. And if you remember, the Europa, the top 2 usually is a qualifier for the Olympia. And then he did show up at the Olympia, and I pretty much knew this was it. He placed 11th, which may have been a gift. May have been a gift. And he did compete a couple of times since then. He competed at the Prague Pro, placing 5th. And then, I believe, to my knowledge, guys, this is the last time we've seen Roelly Winklaar on the bodybuilding stage at the Romania Muscle Fest Pro, a show where he easily should have won, and at one time would have walked right in there, off season, and won this one. And he placed 9th. 9th for Roelly Winklaar. And the latest updates I have seen, Roelly Winklaar, he had something wrong with his stomach. He had a stomach issue, and I believe his trainer or coach or things of that nature mentioned he had a shoulder injury or something. And he claimed in 2 weeks he's going to get back to training and get ready for something, he said. Get ready for something. And I'm not hating on Roelly Winklaar, guys. I'm actually the opposite here. I honestly think that Roelly Winklaar should retire from competitive bodybuilding. I think he's 44 years old now, guys. He placed 3rd at the Olympia. He was the people's champion. It's it. It's the best interest for his health. And like I said, guys, I'm not hating on him. I would love to see him in his prime. But come on, struggling to win pro shows, a guy like Roelly Winklaar, he's better than that. And like I said, 44, he's not getting better. Let's face it. And for the best interests of his health, get off the things of that nature and live your life. Go enjoy your life with your friends and family. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. That's Roelly the Beast Winklaar, one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time, from the rise to the fall of the bodybuilding career. That's life. Hit thumbs up, subscribe. Have a great one, guys.